Hey, yesterday I did a video of top 5 handguns that other people love, but I personally just hate. Guns I don't like. Now, I didn't say they were bad guns. I admitted they're good guns and I understand why other people love them. They're just not for me. I said in that video, if they were actually bad guns, the title of this video wouldn't be guns that other people love that I just hate. It would be guns that are just turds, whether you like it or not. Well, after I said that in the video, a lot of people came forward and said, well, I want to see a video of the guns you just think are turds, and no matter what, whether people like it or not. So I thought, well, I hate to say any gun is just outright bad, because I think there's a place for almost every gun on the market. Even the cheapest little Cobra, Derringers, or whatever. I don't care that they're not well-made guns. If that's all someone has, let's say a single mother, and that's all she's got in her purse is a little Cobra Derringer, and that gun actually saves her life, well, that gun is a little bit of a hero right then there, isn't it? Even though it's a cheap little piece of crap. There was a place for it in the world. But there are some guns that I just don't like. I think they're a bad idea. I think they're not worth the money. I think they were overhyped, whatever. So today, I'm doing a video entitled Top 5 Guns That Are Turds, whether you like it or not. Okay, at number 5 is not a single gun, but an entire lineup of handguns, and that is the KelTec lineup. Don't care what gun it is, all their guns are cheaply put together. Some of the designs are great, but the execution is horrible. These guns are all just pieces of crap, in my opinion. Like I said, if someone gave it to you and it's all you had, it's better than nothing. But if you're going to go out and buy a gun, if you see one of these pieces of crap floating around out there somewhere, don't pick it up and put it in your pocket. Flush that turd down. KelTec handguns are garbage, and that's why they're number 5 on my list. Okay, at number 4 is a gun that some people might say it's a little bit too early to put it on this list, but I disagree because this gun seems like a turd right out of the gate, and it is the Glock 44. I mean, come on. I understand guns have growing pains, especially if they're new designs, but this gun is basically falling apart in people's hands. When it's not falling apart, it's malfunctioning. Whatever happened to Glock perfection? So when you add the fact that these things are exploding in people's hands, and who the hell wants a 22 long rifle semi-automatic anyway? If you want to shoot 22 long rifle, get a revolver. They hold as many rounds and they're much better. But if you wanted to have a semi-automatic handgun chambered in a 22, I think it should at least be a 22 Magnum. I got no place in my life for these little 22 long rifle guns. So if you're not going to make it 22 mag, why bother? And if it's going to explode in people's hands, let's just flush that thing down. So the Glock 44 is number 4 on this list. Okay, number 3 on the list is not a particular handgun, it's a type of handgun, and it is the 9mm revolver. Now, I'm not picking on any particular manufacturer. Any company that makes a 9mm revolver that is solely 9mm, meaning the cylinder is on a standard frame, but it only fits 9mm. The forcing cone is very large. You can't put a replacement cylinder in there. That's what I mean. If a gun is a 357 Magnum that you can put a 9mm cylinder in, I'm okay with that. I'm even okay with it if you take a gun and design it from the ground up around the 9mm. But when you take a standard revolver, slap a really long forcing cone in there, and slap in a little 9mm cylinder, I think those guns are just garbage because you can't even put a good cylinder in them if you want to. So 9mm revolvers that are strictly just 9mm but on a standard frame, these guns are just turds. They need to be flushed, and that's why they're number 3 on this list. Now, number 2 is a gun I'm going to have to explain to you here why I dislike it so much. It is the Kimber K6S. Now, I know a lot of people might be surprised because they know I love revolvers, but this gun was something that they hyped like, we're bringing something new to the market. We're going to revolutionize the revolver market. Make sure you're at SHOT Show so you can see this thing. And imagine when I walk in the booth and all it is a Smith & Wesson 640 with another round in it. Who the hell thought that everybody wants a hammerless revolver? I guess the committee that they used to design it thought that, but I think they found out pretty quickly that most people didn't want a double action only revolver, and it didn't sell all that well. So they decided to make a double action, single action version of it later, but the first one that came out, the double action only model, I bought one, but still, biggest disappointment I've ever seen in a handgun after being hyped so much. So I was really disappointed with it. I'm like, what a turd. So if anyone was thinking about getting one, I would say, don't bother. Why do you need a 640 with 6 rounds in it? There's so many other better guns out there, especially at this price point. So flush that turd and find something else. It's number 2 on this list. Okay, number 1 on the list was a gun that everyone couldn't believe wasn't on yesterday's list, and it is the FN57. Now, the reason this gun wasn't on yesterday's list is because yesterday's list consisted of guns that I admit are good guns, and I know why people love them. I can't imagine why anybody would love this gun, other than, you know, like the mall ninjas and the people who think they're going to be super secret soldier warriors or whatever they're going to be, and it'll go through ballistics vests. This is just such garbage. You could get rounds for it that would go through soft vests, but you can't get those anymore. And let's face it, pretty much any type of round like that that you could put in a semi-automatic can do the same thing if you get the right kind of bullet. So not really too impressed with the gun, period. It's a plasticky piece of junk. The only thing I thought this gun had going for it over a .22 Magnum was that it was center fire. And I thought the only real positive thing about this gun was that it had a lot of capacity. But nowadays you can get 9mm guns that have similar capacity, and they're not limited in their ammo choices as much as this gun is, and they're not plasticky pieces of junk. This gun just feels junky. I've owned 2 of them. Just feels like a toy in the hand, and not even a well-made toy. Even the little controls feel like they're little thin pot metal pieces. Come on, this is supposed to be an FN gun, supposed to be a good high-end gun, and it's expensive. So with all the weaknesses this gun has, limited ammo availability, plasticky piece of junk, really expensive, capacity not really being that much greater than 9mm now, I just have to say, this is the #1 turd on the market, and I say, just flush it down. In fact, it might be a double flusher because this is such a big piece of crap, but it is a piece of crap. And that's why it's #1 on my list of guns that are just turds, whether you like it or not. So there you have it. There's my list. If you have any suggestions of what you would want to put on your list, go ahead and put them in the comment section below so other people can see. But like I said, for now, those are my opinions. Those are my picks, whether you like it or not.